Disney Vibes Podcast, talking insider tips, tricks, and pixie dust. For the most magical place on Earth, here's Andrew and Heather.
Hello, welcome to episode 13 of the Disney Vibes Podcast. I am your co-host, Andrew.
And I am his lovely, lovely, lovely assistant, Heather.
I didn't know I had an assistant now.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
The word's co-host. All right, then I'm just going to say I'm your host.
Okay.
And you could be my assistant.
Well, this is the first time I think I've probably would.
It's like I'm Winnie the Pooh and you're Tigger.
Aww.
Bouncing off the walls. That's you.
Well, I was going more for like you could be Mickey and I could be Minnie, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tigger definitely. Yep. I agree with that.
Hey, Mickey and Minnie, that's
So
good.
wait, I am a co-host. I've never had that title before.
Oh, okay.
Until this venture. Wife, mother, co-host now.
Or assistant. Wait till next week's episode. All right, enough of our shenanigans. So Disney Vibes brought to you by Magical Destination Travel, bookmdtravel.com. Like the podcast, spread the word, and want to show some support? One of our magical agents will be with you to assist in planning your vacation. The best part, there's no obligation for a free quote and no cost to you ever. So we do appreciate your support. And just remember, you can download the Disney Vibes podcast wherever you get your podcast from. If you like the content, help us out by providing feedback and a rating as well. We greatly appreciate your support. So we're going to jump into here's what's happening regarding the news of what has come out with Disney lately. We want to let you know that entertainment is coming back to Magic Kingdom Park for the 50th anniversary celebration. So the big thing that's coming up is they are bringing more of the live show offerings back to Magic Kingdom Park. And it will be kicking off on February 11th, and it's the brand new Disney Adventure Friends Cavalcade, and it'll have 30 of your favorite Disney and Pixar friends, and it's supersized cavalcade featuring Nick and Judy from Zootopia, Baloo and King Louie from The Jungle Book, Jose and Panchito from the Three Caballeros, plus Merida, Moana, The Incredibles, and more, including the Magic Kingdom debut of Miguel from Coco in his mariachi best attire. And this is why you're my assistant. You raised your hand.
I don't want to interrupt you. All right, hold on. So, is there any mention of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger?
No. No, but, it's...
No, but everything that you just listed there seems absolutely amazing. I love the fact that they're bringing in so many more features, especially from Pixar.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and so they have that, and then there's also more coming with the Festival of Fantasy Parade returning to Magic Kingdom beginning March 9th. That's actually the anniversary of the debut of the parade from 2014, and it will go through the park twice per day. So Festival of Fantasy will have characters from The Princess and the Frog, Tangled, Peter Pan, still no Winnie the Pooh, Heather, and more, bringing their individual stories to life on enchanting floats that look as though the characters themselves have a hand in crafting them. It'll be 26 feet above the parade route and 35 feet in length. The fire-breathing Maleficent Dragon float returns just as menacing as ever. So there'll be no way that show-stopping beauty would be excluded from this glittering assemblage. That's a fun word.
That's a fun word for sure.
And speaking of shimmering gatherings, Mickey's Magical Friendship Fair will make its debut on the Cinderella Castle forecourt stage February 25th. So if you are going to Walt Disney World soon, there's a lot of new live offerings. And that show will be newly enhanced for the 50th anniversary celebration. It's going to incorporate favorite scenes inspired by Frozen, Tangled, Princess and the Frog, a whole new opening, a new finale with Mickey Mouse and all his friends in their sparkling iridescent fashions, and it'll be presented multiple times a day and will include all new original song entitled Where the Magic Feels Like Home. So lots of live entertainment, which we've been waiting for, coming back to Walt Disney World as they continue their 50th anniversary celebration. Just remember, you do have Disney Enchantment still. You have Mickey's Celebration Cavalcade and Harmonious, with more to come when Finding Nemo, The Big Blue and Beyond, and Fantasmic are coming later this year. So we've been asking for more live entertainment as fans, and they pretty much are providing that. So
bringing it back for us.
That's it. The next news I wanted to mention, now they're adding character sighting locations as selections to Disney Genie Plus. So if meeting Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse or certain characters is your absolute must. Now you can kind of book that in Genie Plus, which you were able to do with FastPass. Mickey, I mean, just thinking specifically in Magic Kingdom, he was always right there, right next to Tony's Town Square Italian restaurant, right there.
Yep.
Depending upon what characters you want to see, this could be something that you add to your, Disney Genie Plus if you decide to get Genie Plus. But it would be beneficial. Go ahead, you're raising your hand.
Well, I just want to say, so you're talking about Mickey, and that's what they're bringing back. And you can see Cinderella and a visiting princess at the Princess Fairy Tale Hall at Magic Kingdom. You can see Princess Tiana and another princess at the Princess Fairy Tale Hall at Magic Kingdom. I believe we've done that multiple times. And then again, Mickey Mouse and Olaf at Celebrity Spotlight at Disney Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, so now if you're heading to Disney anytime soon, in Disney Genie Plus, you can definitely secure those, I don't want to say front row access, but quick access to the characters to visit them. And again, you can't get as close.
Right.
But there'll still be some pictures. In other news, Walt Disney World has announced details for the 2022 Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival, which will run from March 2nd to July 4th of 2022. So whether you're perhaps going during spring recess or early summer, you will have the opportunity to check out the topiaries at Epcot. And one thing I want to mention is we have been at the Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival before, and it is amazing what they do with the gardens and the topiaries down there. And the thing that they have been doing lately, and they started last year, is they are extending the portion of time. Because I remember when we went, I don't remember what year.
I remember what year. Well, I remember the year it was when Frozen. It must have been just when either Frozen came out or maybe like a year after, because I remember...
So you don't remember the year. You just said I remember the year,
well,
but you don't remember the year.
I remember it was when Anna and Elsa, it was before Jameson, so it was at least 5 years ago.
Okay.
So there you go.
Got it. Basically, it's never run as long as it has with last year. So I see that Disney is trying to extend the experience for guests to be able to, actually attend these different types of events. And it ran for 125 days last year. That's kind of what it's doing this year. So extending that, and listen, food and wine, they extend them for about a month, each, and it pretty much bridges the gap between the two to really give Epcot another draw to go to the park. Not that, I'm a big fan as it is, but it's definitely, and food and wine, if you've never been able to experience food and wine.
Oh my goodness.
So if they're saying that it's going to bridge the gap, and they have a month in between or whatnot, it's going to start early August, I'd say, food and wine again. So that's great.
Let's go over
topiaries.
Yes. So basically, in a nutshell, what we're talking about are, I'm going to call them sculptures, but they're like the figurines, life-size versions of the characters, but they're created from greeneries. Like they shape them into
shrubbery.
Right.
Yep. So they have the Goofy topiary. They have the celebration cake for the 50th anniversary. That'll be there. Sorcerer Mickey Mouse and the brooms. I remember that one. Woody, yes. Bo Peep and her sheep. Now, Bo Peep and her sheep was not out when we went, at least 5 years ago.
Right.
And they have all the classics: Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Huey, Dewey, Louie, Pluto, Chip and Dale, Buzz Lightyear, Figment, of course, the three Caballeros, Anna and Elsa, the Troll, Dragon, Pandas, Simba and Friends, Pumbaa and Timon, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Lady and the Tramp, Beauty and the Beast, Lumiere and Cogsworth, Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy, Peter Pan, Captain Hook, and Tick Tock Croc, Winnie the Pooh, there he is, and Friends. So all of Winnie and the Friends, Rabbit, Eeyore, Piglet, and Tigger, and Tinkerbell's Fairy House Garden, and Bambi and Friends. So very cool. And they always had a lot of butterflies too. I mean, it's amazing what they do with the flower and garden show. It's really cool.
Stunning.
All right, other news we have. Non-Disney related, but it's Epic, definitely in an announcement. Universal's Epic Universe Park was announced to be opening by summer of 2025, and this is Universal Orlando's third theme park called Epic Universe. So we're about 3 summers away from it. It will be joining the lineup with Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida, and then obviously they do have Volcano Bay Water Park. Obviously, things were kind of paused in spring of 2020, and they said that they are now starting to resume construction, and the plans are going to continually scaffold up from there. Other than that, there are some previews, regarding it, but Universal has really, upped their game lately. So I'm excited to see. I mean, now, if you're going down, obviously based on the ages of your children will determine if you're going to go to both both parks. However, I do want to say I think that having the opportunity to go to 7 parks in a trip, if you're going to combine them, is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So, again, we're still 3 summers away, and more details regarding that will come out. I'm sure it's going to be a big boost for Universal having a third gate, and we'll go from there. Assistant, any final thoughts on that?
I'm just trying to take that all in. When you said 7 parks in 7 days, and then I mean, not 7 days. I mean, I was just thinking, wow, is it even possible to do 1 park per day for 7 days? And I don't think it is.
I think you need more time. So
absolutely.
I think, specifically I guess it depends upon the age of your kids. Right. Honestly, I mean that's going to play a big part, of it. And again, you have the Harry Potter part of it. There's a lot that can go into that.
There's a lot that Orlando has to offer. SeaWorld, I mean, that's another one. So
yeah, but I don't think a lot of people are going to SeaWorld anymore because there's no more Shamu.
Oh, well, yes and no. I mean, still.
Perhaps, I guess, right. Whatever. Obviously, as more details come out regarding that, we can definitely pass those along. And, as it gets closer and closer, we'll get more and more details of what's included and more concept art and seeing actual construction on the socials and so on and so forth. This week, I do want to talk about a couple different things. We definitely always talked about, and really a lot, and with good reason, Disney Genie Plus, individual Lightning Lane selections, Disney Genie itself and the tip board and so forth. I do want to talk about 2 things that have kind of changed since the pandemic. And one is we have early theme park entry at Disney World, and then we also have extended evening theme park hours at Disney World. Now, I want to mention early theme park entry, extended evening theme park entry. There are stipulations. The big one, you need to stay on Disney property.
Meaning Disney property, you have to stay exclusively with any of the, deluxe, moderate, or budget resorts, and Swan and Dolphin.
Yeah, Good Neighbor resorts, right?
Yep, those are included as of now.
Yeah, so select hotels and any guests staying in the Walt Disney World resorts have access to early theme park entry. So as we talk about things that you need to know, eligibility, the rides, how the perk works, tips for, best utilizing that time. But basically, in a nutshell, this replaced morning extra magic hours, which is what it used to be called. And that was always a on-site guest benefit. So extra magic hours were offered on select days and select parks. Early entry is offered at all 4 theme parks every single day.
Wow.
Extra magic hours lasted for an hour. So by contrast, this is only 30-minute access to any Walt Disney World theme park. You're able to go in 30 minutes early. And when we say go in, I'm not saying just through the gates, because as you can experience, let's just use Magic Kingdom as an example. Main Street, is open. They're trying to spread out the crowd.
Right. That, and they have the shopping available, so why not get some souvenirs here and there?
Right. So, yeah. So Magic Kingdom, Disney Hollywood Studios opens daily at 8:30 a.m. Animal Kingdom opens at 7:30 a.m. and Epcot opens at 9:30 a.m. So, it goes without saying that those times change with the actual operating hours, of the park. That's, something in regards to, early theme park entry with the hours. Just be sure to check the time that the park is actually going to be working. And a big update with that is we talked about Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and it's no longer on the virtual queue. It's now in a traditional standby line. So Epcot has officially added Remy's Ratatouille Adventure to its early theme park entry lineup. So again, early theme park entry is just an expansion of morning extra magic hours. Does cut its duration in half. There's pros, there's cons. Obviously, the big drawback is it's 30 minutes shorter than the predecessor, so you have less of a head start than those off-site guests than during the extra magic hours. But the upside is that it's every single park, every single day. So that means on-site guests taking advantage of the perk are diluted and spread among all the parks rather than just concentrated in a single one like it was in its previous format. This itself is the downside for those staying off property, which is why we always say it's best to stay on property, because now those off-site guests cannot avoid early entry to kind of make a strategy around it. So if you're staying off, you're like, oh, that's the early morning one. I'm not going to that one that day. But now it's on all 4 parks. So you don't know how the crowds are going to be, because those staying on site are able to go to any of the 4 parks every morning early if they want to.
Right.
When we talk about that, I do want to talk about the eligible hotels, just to give people the insight for early theme park entry.
Sure.
If you're an early morning riser, these are the early entry eligible Disney-owned hotels. We have all 3 all-star resorts: Art of Animation, Pop Century, the campsites, Caribbean Beach, Coronado Springs, and the Grand Destino Tower, Port Orleans, both French Quarter and Riverside. The cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Beach Club, Boardwalk, Contemporary, Grand Floridian, Poly, Wilderness Lodge, Yacht Club, Bay Lake Tower at Contemporary, and then obviously all the DVC resorts, all the villas, as well, are included in that. As far as third-party hotels, there are some that they do allow. So Hilton Orlando, Bonnet Creek, Waldorf Astoria, Orlando. We're going to post them all because there's actually a bunch. But like Heather had mentioned, the big ones are Swan Hotel, Dolphin Hotel, and the Swan Reserve, which we talked about is that new one, as well. I do want to talk about the rides, because that's really where people start to strategize and kind of make a plan.
Yeah.
So when we talk about those early theme park entry, so 8:30 comes in, you're already on Main Street, and we experienced this, and then you can literally make a plan of what land you want to go to in Magic Kingdom, for example. But rides that are currently, again, subject to change, that are included at Magic Kingdom: Small World, Astro Orbiter, Space Ranger Spin by Buzz Lightyear, Dumbo, Mad Tea Party, Mickey's Filler Magic, Peter Pan's Flight, Prince Charming, Regal Carousel, Seven Dwarf Mine Train, all right, Space Mountain, Barnstormer, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, Tomorrowland Speedways, the People Mover, and Journey of the Little Mermaid, and then obviously the Carousel of Progress. So just specific for Magic Kingdom, you can save a ton of money.
Absolutely.
Just by going in 30 minutes early.
Yeah.
If you get up. And when I say 30 minutes early, I mean, you need to get on the bus at like 7:30.
Yeah, we
or the
recommend
boat.
easily an hour before.
Right, because you need to get through security. You need to get there. You need to get through security, and then Main Street is, is
going to be busy.
It's going to be busy. People are getting their coffee. Heather needs her Starbucks, and
Oh my God.
but thinking Seven Dwarf Mine Train. Remember, individual Lightning Lane cost could be $15 times a family of 4. That's $60 right there. That could be your quick serve or your Mickey pretzel. We talked about pricing last week and everything going up. But so you could save money. Now, that being said, we did do this. It's like the rope drop strategy. We got up early. We were there on Main Street. I remember we were on the right side of Cinderella's castle. And it was busy. It was busy.
Yeah.
But we went, once they officially opened the lands, we went right to Fantasyland.
We did.
We went to Seven Dwarfs first.
That was our first one.
There was no genie or anything at that point.
Nope.
This was all standby.
Old school, traditional, stand on line.
So, and Seven Dwarfs moved quickly. I think it was like 25 minutes.
It was 25 minutes, and I want to say the gentleman at the end that had the little pole with where it said like wait time, I think he said 60 minutes on there, and I was like, what?
Well, it got real quick.
It did.
It went up. By the time we got off, I'd say it was at least 60 to 90 minutes.
Right.
Because the park everybody was coming in.
Yep.
Those who are not staying on property.
Correct.
But we were able, if I remember correctly, we went to Seven Dwarf.
Seven Dwarfs first.
And then I think we went to Peter Pan,
We did.
Winnie the Pooh,
Winnie the Pooh.
Small World,
Small World.
Haunted Mansion,
Oh my, yeah, you're right.
and then I don't remember what else.
I
think
think
that was
those
it.
were the big ones.
Those are the ones we wanted to hit real quick, and
We
then we went to breakfast.
Yeah,
Like
because-
brunch.
So we did all that. I want to say by 11-ish.
Yeah, so 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
So, again, another strategy just to use so you don't have to spend that money on the Lightning Lane there because, let's be honest, you probably need to spend that Lightning Lane, money specifically, like, let's say, Hollywood Studios with, Rise of the Resistance and so forth.
Right. Well, I actually documented this.
We did, yeah.
Through, if you go to our Instagram on one of our highlights where I talked about Magic Kingdom, I definitely went. We had our pad out. We were writing down our time, so definitely check that out. Magical Destinations Travel Co. on Instagram.
We had a pad.
I wrote stuff. Well, Not a pad. I do remember documenting it, so I must have did it on like a note in my phone.
There you go.
I'm
Much better.
Old school, writing it down on a pad.
So let's talk early theme park entry rides at Epcot. Beauty and the Beast, Frozen Ever After, Mission Space, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, as we just mentioned, Soaring Around the World, Spaceship Earth, Test Track, and The Seas with Nemo and Friends.
Yay!
Yeah, so definitely can hit a lot there.
Totally.
We'll have to see how the crowds, progress through this. But just thinking automatically right there, it's some walking, but if you go to Remy's first and then you go to Frozen and then I would say go to Test Track. Right. That would be my first 3. And then from there,
I go to Soarin'.
Yeah. The nice thing is Soarin', we said like we went on it like 3 or 4 times. Epcot's that park where if you go later, you may be able to get a lot more done.
Right.
I don't know about with Remy's and Frozen, but in general, the other ones shouldn't be an issue at all. Now, Disney's Hollywood Studios early theme park entry rides. You got Alien Swirling Saucers, Mickey Minnie's Runaway Rail, Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run, Rock and Roller Coaster with Aerosmith, Slinky, Dog Dash, Star Tours, The Adventures Continue, Star Wars, Rise of the Resistance, Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror, and Toy Story Mania. So that right there is monumental in the sense that if you get there early, you can do a lot. And it's almost like and we're going to talk like a one-day plan for, certain parks on future episodes. But, if you get in there quickly, and you may have to do this in 2 separate days if you have the availability, but if you go right to Star Wars, to Galaxy's Edge, you're going to be able to get a lot of these done. Smuggler's Run, and definitely, Rise of the Resistance is the big one. Now, that could be one angle. The other angle I would say is go to Toy Story Land.
Yeah.
I think everybody's going to go, not everybody, but a lot of people go to Mickey's Runaway Rail if they haven't experienced it, because that's the first ride
it is.
As you go down there.
Yeah.
So that could, either get tied up quickly or, people are going to go left or right and split near Runaway Rail to go to either Toy Story Land or to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, it depends how focused you are, because I believe, Andrew, you have to go through it. Well, I think there's probably 2 ways. You have to go through Toy Story Land to get to Galaxy's Edge.
Well, you can go left.
Yeah.
You go left.
There's 2.
Toy Story Land's to the right where, you go down the steps.
Right, there's that way, and then there's the other way, too.
Well, if you go left, you're going to go around the other way. Yeah.
Right.
So, and then obviously Disney's Animal Kingdom, Avatar Flight of Passage, Dinosaur Expedition Everest. That, it's currently closed for refurbishment, but that's it's Tough to Be Bug, Navi River Journey, and Triceratops Spin. So not all the attractions are available during early theme park entry. Minor exceptions. They're pretty identical to what the extra magic hours were, with only certain lands in each park being open to start the morning. But the early theme park entry schedule and available attractions, like we said, are subject to change without notice. And the applicable theme park days, times of operation, attractions, service availability may vary and are subject to change, with notice as well. All right, let's talk early theme park entry strategy.
Let's strategize.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I would say you got to arrive at least, like we mentioned previously, 30 minutes before the early theme park entry starts. So basically an hour before the official park opening time. It's the same thing when you had normal days and rope drop. Big thing is 30 minutes flies by and you want to be as close to the front of the pack of people that are trying to get in when early theme park entry begins, so you can hopefully experience more than one attraction. It's pretty common for those parks, especially Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom, to quietly start their early entry before its official time. As we previously mentioned, we do recommend Genie Plus for Magic Kingdom and Disney's Hollywood Studios for most people on most days. I would not, recommend buying Genie Plus at Epcot or Animal Kingdom. And as far as individual lightning lanes, it really depends upon your individual situation as to whether or not you want to pay for those rides. So let's start with the Magic Kingdom strategy, where Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Space Mountain offer paid individual lightning lane access at this time. Those obviously are the best options for early theme park entry, because you can theoretically ride one of those then and then the other at the end of the night and never have to pay that a la carte charge. Obviously, depending upon the day, you might actually be able to accomplish both. As a strategy, the rope drop advice is to skip Seven Dwarfs Mine Train kind of like zig when others zag because it's so popular first thing in the morning. Now, like we had mentioned, we were able to do it. I know it can have delayed openings and so forth, but if you knock out some of those shorter rides, Peter Pan's Flight and those other Fantasyland classics, that could be the way to go. But it really depends upon the crowds and the time of the year. And if you don't plan on buying Genie Plus or want to hassle with those huge crowds shuffling to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train first thing in the morning, that would definitely be a strategy, that you could definitely go to.
Right.
As far as Disney's Hollywood Studios, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Rail are those individual Lightning Lane attractions. Rise of the Resistance is also the most popular ride at Walt Disney World, hands down, in general, and has had standby access added within the last few months, but it's definitely the obvious choice for early theme park entry at Disney's Hollywood Studios. If that's the obvious choice, you're obviously not going to be alone, right?
Nope.
Heading that direction. Popularity coupled, with a long attraction duration can, kind of cast some doubt on Star Wars as being the optimal pick, but it also has downtime. You never know when Rise is going to go down first thing in the morning, and it could open late, so that could be a gamble. But there's always the option and the availability that you could do both, Rise of the Resistance and Mickey's Runaway Rail, in regards to see how that, that could actually work. But on busy days, I honestly think Toy Story Land is a great avenue to go to. So you start at Slinky if you're not going to do Genie Plus, and then that roller coaster, it's not like Rise is like long, like 15 minutes. Like
it's an experience, right?
Slinky, there's like 2 Slinkies, right, going on at one time on different parts of the track. So it's short duration, but you could almost, depending upon the line and obviously the crowd, you may be able to get on that twice during early entry. Maybe once and then go to Toy Story Mania and Swirling Saucers.
Mm-hmm.
But I would almost say it's not a bad idea to knock out Toy Story Land during the early theme park entry at Hollywood Studios.
Right.
And then at Epcot, our recommendation would be do Frozen Ever After, and then Test Track. Again, it depends upon Ratatouille. If you do Frozen Ever After, you're on the same kind of location of the park close to Test Track. So, and then once you do those, if you do Test Track, then you head to Mission Space, which is over there. I don't know. Epcot's tough.
It is. It just really depends on what you want to experience and what, if you do want to invest in Genie Plus Lightning Lanes, like what are you willing to invest it on? Right.
Everybody's got their own plan, and that's why you have an agent right there. Good promotion, right?
100%.
They've experienced the rides. We have, multiple agents that are willing to help you and guide you in best practices, for lack of a better term, to say, okay, what's the best way? Otherwise, if you're going through the main entrance of the park, arriving via bus, you definitely, France is in the back. So you definitely want to go to Norway and, for Frozen or and Test Track first. And Test Track's another one where kind of like similar to Rise of Resistance, sometimes it's down.
Sometimes it's down, and it's an experience as well, because you have to sit there and you have to go through the steps
designing
the car, and
Spoiler
then finally
alert.
Going on it. Oh, I know. Sorry. Actually, this year is my first year. Well, this past year is the first time I ever went on it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's good. It's
awesome.
It's definitely good times.
A lot of fun.
We did it a couple times. The kids had a blast. And obviously the last one, because remember, all 4 parks, you have the theme park entry. Animal Kingdom, so you got to stick to the tried and true. You got to go to Avatar.
You do. And take
Flight of
your
Passage.
Dramamine.
Well, everybody's body's different. But that kind of is going to summarize everything you need to know about early theme park entry, at Walt Disney World, and it's going to change. So what we're, in our head works now, there's so many things because we don't know when Guardians of the Galaxy is opening, and that's on that left side if you're walking towards World Showcase. In Epcot, that's on the left side. So
a lot of different variables.
Well, foot traffic's going to be increased. So maybe you're not going to be going that way. Maybe you should go to the right. So, we will continually update you, in a couple months as far as strategies for Genie Plus and Lightning Lane, because they're going to continue to evolve and things will find their groove, and we'll cover all those important planning details. And again, that's why you have an agent as well to help you, through those. All right. Co-host, assistant, wife. Whatever.
Yeah, so you can get socials. Is that what we're doing?
Final thoughts, but sure, go right there.
All right, well, hold on. So final thoughts. Yeah, no, definitely. Just another thing to mention is that working with an agent, that could be booking tickets solely, or it could also be the whole experience where it's, booking your, we'll help you
Entire
with
trip.
transportation to get there.
Soup to nuts.
Yes, exactly. So totally reach out. You can find us by visiting Magical Destinations Travel Co. on Instagram, Magical Destinations Travel on Facebook, Magical Dest Trav on Twitter, and of course our website, bookmdtravel.com.
Okay, till next time, live life, do what makes you happy, let the Disney vibes flow.
Take care.
Find Disney Vibes for all your vacation needs on the web at bookmdtravel.com.